Hi everyone, welcome to episode 17 of the Wild Eye Diaries. It's almost time for our Masai Mara safari experiences and it kicks off very soon. We're very excited to share our camp with everybody this year as we've added a few extra things that for the regular visitors will find it to be pretty new and very exciting, and for those who've never been, going to be great to have you in camp during such an exciting time for us. Trevor and Alistair are busy hosting a workshop for some of the Mara guides. I'm not going to say too much on it as they'll explain more in their video update, but it is very exciting, and as a company we are very happy to give back to the conservation efforts that these guys have been doing, and empowering them more and more to do what they do even better and to be able to share that with you through social and video content. More of that coming up soon. As we speak, 4 of the guides are out of the office at the moment. Gerry has pretty much not been in the office. You'll hear more about that a little bit later. He's been really busy with travels. Andrew has just finished in the Timbavati. He's headed up to Kenya, and then Alistair and Trevor are up in the Masai Mara as we speak. I leave in 2 days' time and Mike leaves in a couple of weeks. So nice and busy. But without further ado, let's get right into this episode. So as I mentioned, Gerry has been traveling pretty much non-stop to some very exciting and varied destinations. Gerry will be sharing more on random photographic and travel thoughts after being on the road for many weeks. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hello. So my name is Gerry, I'm from Wild Eye, and it feels like I haven't been around for a lot the last while. So for today's diary insert, which is the first time in a while where I can actually sit and do something rather than just give you another from the field update, I thought I'm going to look back over the last couple of months and share with you some thoughts on discussions that I had with clients. These are photographic, it's inspiration, it's social media, it's marketing, it's travel, it's a whole bunch of everything that we do, but also a couple of situations at lodges which made me think. Now, in due course, I'm going to be sharing all of these in more detail on the podcast, on my vlog, on the blog. I'm going to be doing all of those. But for today, because Marlon's hosting, and I know he's got a very busy time ahead over this weekend. He's heading up to, I think, Sabi Sands, if I remember correctly. He's been asking what am I going to send him. So Marlon, here you go, bud. My diaries insert. So, context first of all. I'm sitting in my hotel room at the Westin in Nairobi. I flew in last night. I'm here for 1 day just to kind of catch my breath, catch up on things like this diary insert, for example. And tomorrow then I'm flying to the Masai Mara where Trevor and Alistair are already hosting a photo academy for the Rangers. Now, this is a joint thing we're doing with Olympus SA, and it's our way of giving back and empowering these guys to have the ability not only create great images, but also teach them about social media, how to share it, how to take that content, that knowledge, that passion, and share it with their community. So I'm flying up there tomorrow to join the guys there, oversee the whole thing, kind of just add a bit of value where I can. But I'm going to be looking back quickly now. So in reverse order, I've just come from Uganda. I've hosted, in reverse order now, a gorilla safari, before then a gorilla and chimp safari, before then a Svalbard photographic expedition. There was like 3 days in between. Before then there was a 4 or 5 days in between, was Borneo, Rainforest of Borneo expedition. Before then I think it was Sabi Sands and the Mara. So it's been a hell of a ride. And as you can imagine, for those of you that know, on safari, we speak about a whole different bunch of stuff. So I thought, let me share some with you, and in due course then I will dig into it in more podcasts. So first thoughts is the following. Maybe I can do something with this image. That's something I hear a lot of people say. Now, there's 2 things here. There's one part of you, once you've taken an image, you go and sit in Lightroom, and the intent is play. The intent is to try these sliders and to see what they do as a way of learning, as a way of kind of getting comfortable with the program, right? That's one thing. But if you've been in the field, you've created a whole bunch of images, you've imported it into Lightroom, you have marked them, you've X'd the ones, if you know my workflow, you've marked the ones with X that you're going to reject, you reject them, you've marked 1 or 2 stars, and then you go back again and you find an image which you think in the field was going to work, right? You come back in Lightroom and it's actually just dog shit. It is just bad. Then I see people, and I see this all the time, people sitting and they start playing with the sliders and they're holding Alt and they're masking the hell out of this thing and they're carrying on. I say, listen, what are you doing? No, I want to see if I can do something with this. Generally, if you have to ask yourself, maybe I can do something with this, you probably can't. It just is what it is. That is one of the reasons why I recommend and I advise a lot of our clients, don't process in the field. Yes, there's a difference between me sitting and helping you learn some techniques and values, but to process something in the field, you've just seen your first gorilla. It is mind-blowing. It's bucket list stuff, right? Now you get back and you know in your mind, when you take that one image, this is going to be insane. This is a good shot. You get to Lightroom, you pour yourself a gin and tonic, you open that file, and it's not that great. Okay, now you start hoping against hope that the more sliders you move around, maybe you can do something with it. No, you can't. Oh, as a sideline, you can't just convert something to black and white and think it's amazing. Doesn't work. Can't polish a turd. You've heard me say that plenty of times. It's the truth. So if you ever find yourself asking, maybe I can do something with this image, rather focus on basics. Focus on in-camera, getting it right. Then you won't have to ask yourself that down the line. That's going to be, I think, a video discussion in future, because I can show you examples of images a lot of people would look at and say, maybe I can do something with this image. If you ask yourself, I think I've used this in the podcast in the past. My dad used to say to me, I took golf lessons when I was long ago, and he used to say to me, you get to the shot and you're not sure, is it a 6-iron or a 7-iron? If you think it's not the right one, it more than likely is not the right one. So if you have any doubt, leave it, move on, go back, go do it again, go and rather focus on another image that has qualities you can work with. But if you ask yourself, maybe I can do something with the image, you probably can't. Right, that's one topic that we spoke about quite a bit on different trips. The second one, and this is something that comes up often, this is probably going to turn into a rant on a podcast one day, but I'm going to wait until I have a really, really pissed off day, and then I'm going to record this one. So, you get people, right? And I don't think any of you watching this are those people. So, we'll be at a lodge, we'll be sitting, doing our Lightroom, minding our own business, and having fun, and having drinks, and processing, it's all amazing. Then this chap wanders over, and he's like, oh, how's it going, and what have you seen, and how was your gorilla experience? No, it was great, it was an amazing trip, thank you. Oh no, and then we do the polite thing and say, well, where are you going? What has your trip be like? No, it's been amazing. It was the best gorilla hike ever. Okay, I'm sure it was good. Then he says, okay, we're going down to the Serengeti, for example. And you say, okay, cool. Well, where are you staying? No, at the best lodge. Okay, what's the name? No, but it's one of the best ones. Okay, makes you wonder already. Then he says, oh, where are we going? Oh, no, this one's Marion, one of my clients, might be going on to Ishasha. She's carrying on. I'm going to the Masai Mara. Oh, no, the Masai Mara isn't that great. Oh, really? So then I would ask very politely, well, when was the last time you were there? No, he hasn't been, but he's been to the Serengeti and it's much better. What? Those people, they've been on one safari ever. Maybe 2, maybe 5, maybe 10. More often than not, ask, go a bit deeper, only 1. They've read all the books. Suddenly they're an expert, right? Suddenly they look at your itinerary and say, oh, well, you shouldn't stay at this lodge, you should stay at that lodge. Oh, really, Mr. John Smith, why is that? No, well, because we stayed there last year and it's the best lodge ever. You've been to 1. You see what I mean? And it's just, you find them everywhere. These people who think they know everything. And I'm very, what's the word? I'm very aware of never trying to be a know-it-all on safari and push people. People have different needs. They've got different wants. Is the Serengeti great? Yes, it's amazing. Is the Mara great? Yes, it's amazing. Is the one better than the other? I don't know. Is an apple better than an orange? Depends who you ask. But if you've not been to a place or you haven't been to that lodge, don't be a dick and just think you know what's going on. I'm going to have fun with this podcast down the line. But like I said, I'm going to wait until I'm really, really fed up with something, and then I'm going to record it. So that's going to be fun. What was the other one? Let me just quickly, I made a note here. Let me just quickly check while I'm speaking to you guys. Oh, comments. Ooh, yes, this is a fun one. Think before you comment. Now, this one's live already. This is episode 141. A little bit of context just for you. So I posted a video of a gorilla interaction that we have, right? It was insane. They came right close by. We stood still like you should. You shouldn't panic, point, scream, run away. Post it on there. And I do a full description in my Instagram comment. A full description, right? On how we approached it, what we did, what I said, everything. We gave them the right of way. They decided to come. All of that, right? And then people will write comments such as, "You're harassing the animals." Nah. Most of the time, I'll just ignore them. Because honestly, if that's how you approach things, move on. Block, delete. Couldn't be bothered. However, because I'm a nice guy, most of the times I thought, let me write back. So I'll write back, yes, I can see how you see that. But before we go into the discussion, how many gorilla tracks have you done? How many safaris, ethically guided safaris, have you done? How many times have you been to Africa? No, nothing, but I can see you harassing animals. From a video online? The world according to online doesn't happen. And then this is the same thing, and I mentioned this in the podcast. You guys should listen to it, episode 141. Is this whole thing, and it's the same vein as I post a rhino image, and at the top it says, the location tag says Madikwe Game Reserve. Then you get hate mail, and people just jump all over you because you're going to tell the poachers where the rhinos are. Yeah? So you think, right? You think that all the poachers everywhere is scanning Instagram, right? They're looking for rhino hashtags, wildlife photography hashtags, to see which reserves have rhinos. Newsflash, if a reserve is a Big 5 reserve, it has rhino. Big 5, rhino, yeah? It's not a secret where these things live. And you know also, if you've been on safari, you could sit with a rhino, a lion, leopard, / anything, and you can go and have drinks, you can come back, you won't find the animal again. So now let's follow through for a moment here. This poacher is going to look on Instagram. Where's Gerry today? Okay, here's Madikwe. Holy shit, he's sure a rhino there. I need to go there. So, where's he? Let's say he's 4 hours from there. Let's give it benefit of the doubt. He's in Johannesburg, right? He's going to see my post and say, hey, shit, look, there's a rhino in Madikwe. You need to go get him. He needs to now get there 4 hours later. Let's say he phones someone, right? He phones someone and says, there's a rhino in Madikwe. We need to go get it right now. Right now. Then he needs to get into security. How, in a 75,000 hectare reserve, where do you start? We're going to miss that thing after 10 minutes. You won't find him again. The whole concept is broken. I believe, and I truly do, that we should be sharing images of these animals to show people how amazing they are. It's not a secret which game reserves has rhinos. Live streaming, there's an argument. If I'm sitting on my phone and I'm recording this thing live and I'm putting it, maybe there's an argument. Most of the time, and also let's think about this. If I take an image, make an image of a rhino, right? I still have to finish my game drive, have a drink, have dinner, then download, then sleep, maybe a few days later, process it, then post it. You see what I mean, guys? People don't think before they comment. Go listen to the podcast, episode 141, and tell me what you think, because my mind is blown of some of the stuff. It's fascinating. If you really want to read a cool one, comments, you need a big coffee for this one, is the podcast that a little while ago is When Lions Fight. Not sure what number, actually I can tell you now. When Lions Fight was episode 134. Go and check that out and just go read the comments. There was like 500. I answered every single one, but the way that people think you should go and say, another one. One more before I end this little topic. is, I'll often post, Marlon has the same, is people will see a picture. I'll post an image of, for example, 2 lions on a zebra. And the zebra is probably dead by then, but let's say it not. The comment, I shit you not, that people say is, how dare you call yourself a wildlife photographer if you don't go and save that animal? What? And they'll fight you on it. It's unbelievable. Anyway, episode 141, episode 134 of the podcast. Go and check those out. I think they were pretty cool. Then what else is new? 2 more things. Instagram TV, IGTV. It's a new app. You need to check it out. It's not Instagram stories. So for those of you who are interested in social media advice, don't do your stories on there. Curate content. Do good content. What I'm doing right now is I'm speaking to you guys on the diaries, but I've also recorded it live on my Instagram TV, which is over here. So sorry if I'm not paying attention to you guys, but it's the double content, right? So go check it out. Instagram TV, mine is live. I've got a couple of feeds on there. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to keep on producing fresh content that's not the same as on YouTube and on Instagram stories and so on and so forth. Interesting one. Different cap, social media cap. They are taking on YouTube with this flat out, and it's interesting because it's going to be portrait orientation, like you use your phone all the time, like that, and it could be interesting. So yeah, if you have unique content and you want to take time to build proper content, check it out. Otherwise, just go look at ours. It's going to be amazing. I think that's about it. Oh, the last one. This is another interesting discussion I had with clients 2 or 3 trips ago. I think it was in Svalbard, actually. And it was specifically Svalbard, if I remember correctly. If you look at companies who advertise destinations to go and do photography safaris in, right, any of the trips that you see on the Wild Eye website will be run by a Wild Eye guide. One of us, myself, or one of our, and here's the important term, full-time employees, full-time guides will run that trip. So you'll always have, if you book a Wild Eye trip, you'll have one of us on there. There's a lot of stuff happening out there, and I need to just control myself here because I can go down rabbit holes pretty easily, that advertise trips all over the world. Let's go Svalbard, for example. Come to us for Svalbard. It's going to be amazing. You're going to see polar bears and walrus, and it's amazing, and we're going to take your money for this. And here's the image that you can see there, but it was taken by some completely different photographer who has nothing to do with the company selling the trip because they outsource. And obviously I'm biased because Wild Eye is my company and we involved. But guys, whoever watches this, obviously if you follow the Wild Eye Diaries, hopefully you've been on a trip or hopefully soon, would love that. But do yourself a favor. Look deeper. Go deeper. Look and see what people are advertising, how they're doing it. Ask the right questions. Which of your Wild Eye people are going to be on the trip? Is there even one of your own employees on the trip? Or are you outsourcing that experience to someone else? Are you using other people who's not even involved images to market your trip? It is a big deal. It really is. So I would just check that out. But I've had an interesting discussion around that on social media, which again in the podcast in the future, I will dig it a little bit more deeper, but it is very, very interesting. Right, that's me for now. Carried on a little bit longer than I would have planned originally, but there you go. Some topics, some thoughts from the last couple of weeks. Next week, where am I? For the diaries. I'll be in the Mara for a week, so I'm going to try and put something together for you. Make sure you go watch my vlogs. I'm doing vlogs on trips at home. It's on the Wild Eye YouTube channel. On this channel you're watching this on, go to the playlist, Gerry van Walt. All my vlogs are on there. It'll also, apart from just a bit of fun interaction and different types of value, it'll also just give you, what? A deeper understanding of what it's like to be on a trip. What it's like to get up in the morning, walk through the rain, get up the mountain. The vlogs are cool. More of those. So I'm in the Mara for the next week. So next week's diary from me will also be Mara related. More than likely something on our brand new camp. Because as you know, we now have a seasonal camp. It is properly amazing. I'm going to see it tomorrow in its full splendor, and then we're going to work on it for the first group to arrive, I think next Friday actually. So hopefully next week my diary insert will revolve around Kenya, our camp, and how awesome it is, and the people. I'm going to record a whole bunch of podcasts with the guys as well. Okay, I'm now going to finish my tea because I had lunch with clients and I'm very, very overeaten. I'm quite full. So I'm drinking the finest Kenya tea right here. And then off to the Mara tomorrow. Guys, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the episode, and I will chat to you in the next one. My name is Gerry. I'm from Wild Eye. Have a good one. Bye.
Gerry, pretty epic. You're an inspiration to all of us, and we all always look forward to seeing what you get up to on the road. Johan has just come back from Tswalu. He had an epic time with incredible sightings, absolutely jam-packed. Tswalu is a fantastic place on the western side of South Africa, very dry season, Kalahari type environment, and they play host or they are host to a large variety of wildlife, but in particular special animals such as wild dogs, pangolin and aardvark. So have a look at what Johan and his guests got to experience.
Hello everybody. Okay, so last week I was in the Kalahari, as you saw from the update in the Wild Eye Diaries last week, and I hosted a private guided safari there, the second one in consecutive months, which doesn't happen for us all that often, maybe the Mara as an exception. But it was incredible to see just how the bush changed in such a short space of time, and the weather as well. It was a lot colder this time of the year, And that also changed a lot of the game viewing. A lot more nocturnal species became active because of the cold weather. And also this time around we had the wild dog puppies, who we estimated to be around about 5 weeks old. They've now started coming out of the den site. Whereas if you can recall, when I was there in May, the pups were still too young to come out of the den site. So they gave us incredible viewing. It was amazing to see the different interaction between different pack members, and also to see wild dog puppies that small really is a privilege. Now the guest I had, they joined me at Tswalu for the first time about 3 years ago. It was during the summer months, and it was a massive difference for them as well. I mean, last time they were there, it was about 40 degrees Celsius during the day, and also that area, also Africa as a whole, went through a drought, so very dry. Whereas this time, with some late rains, there was still a bit of greenery around. So I would highly recommend to you guys, if you've been to a destination before, try and go back to that same destination at a different time of the year. Now the Kalahari was almost unrecognizable to them, and it's just very nice to see a place through different seasons. Now I've put a little video together with some of the highlights for you guys, and I'll leave you with that. Enjoy the video, I hope you guys like it, and I'll catch up with you again next week before I head over to Kenya. And until then, cheers, have a good one.
Johan, that looked very exciting. What an experience that must have been for you and your guests. Michael is up next. Mike has been office bound for the last couple of weeks, but that doesn't mean we're not busy. The office keeps us really busy as we plan for future safaris, work on marketing, content, and a whole lot more. Mike shares with you next what he has been up to.
Good morning everyone, I hope that you've had a fantastic week, and for these of you who know, I am in the design quarter. I usually take those stairs up to the office, but today I've decided to use the lift. You'll also notice that I have come to floor 2 and not floor 1 where the Wild Eye office is located. And the reason being is that the Wild Eye office is moving, and where to? Right here. So that is going to be our new office probably in the next 2 months, and yeah, a very exciting change it will be. But speaking of office and speaking of work, this week has been an extremely productive one. We've sorted quite a lot of stuff, a lot of gear, and a lot of supplies that have to go up to the Mara camp. Trevor and Alistair left 2 days ago, and they're currently up in the Masai Mara, taking Olympus gear for the Conservancy members, and they're hosting a bit of a photo workshop, which is pretty exciting. I've also done a lot of social media work in terms of blogs, video content for areas such as Kenya, as well as the Timbavati. And yes, I head up to Kenya next month. Super excited to get back. But yeah, it's a Friday. There's a lot of work still to be done before I head out, so here we go.
Thanks for that, Mike. Pretty sure you'll be back in the field again, but great to share what you have been doing this side. Next up, we have Alistair and Trevor. So they are on the banks of the Mara River in our very own Wild Eye Mara tented camp. They are hosting a workshop for the local guides in the Mara. So pretty exciting initiative with Wild Eye, the Mara, and Olympus. But Al and Trev will share more on that in the coming video. Enjoy this.
Good morning everybody from a rather cold Masai Mara in Kenya this morning, where Trevor and myself are beginning day 2 of our Wildlife Photo Academy for the hardworking men and women of the Mara Conservancy.
Morning everyone. So yesterday on day 1 we covered a lot of the basics. We've got the Olympus mirrorless cameras, so we just learned our way around the camera itself. We also did a lot of practical and theory work in and around camp here.
Morning.
And we covered a variety of different things, composition, so using rule of thirds, placement in the frame, and everybody really got a good idea from it. And so this morning we're going to take the cameras out into the field, go out on drive, and we're going to put all those skills to the test out in the natural environment. So yeah, very, very excited to get out there, see what we can find, see how everybody goes along. But for now, gonna enjoy coffee, the river, and we hope that you all have a wonderful week further. Cheers.
Al and Trev, it looks pretty exciting. What a great place to find yourselves within, and what an incredible learning environment. No doubts, food for creativity. Thanks for sharing that, guys.
Hi guys, so I've just wrapped up an incredible 4 nights here in the Timbavati. This place for me has never failed to deliver. Our first evening out, we followed a female leopard and we saw her kill a red-crested koran right next to our vehicle. We've been incredibly lucky with some lion sightings, both of females and 2 big males. The lion dynamics in this area have been up and down, I would say, over the years, and it seems to be stabilizing now with both females, one of them having cubs and the other one looking to give birth fairly soon. I think there's going to be incredible game viewing in this area, and it seems as though there's now a lot more stability in the prides in the area. So we had some great sightings of them, 2 big males drinking water under a spotlight, only vehicle in sighting, which was fantastic. We saw them again last night and got some beautiful shots of them walking down the road towards us at night. An incredible elephant sighting on the first afternoon, backlighting and dust, and just sitting in one position. We spent probably a good part of 45 minutes to an hour in that sighting, and that was really nice. So it was both great from a photographic but also from an experiential point of view, just watching the herd as they interacted, and they approached us, and so they were very close to the vehicle, comfortable with our presence, and just very relaxed, which was quite special. And then this morning we were out on drive, and it's a bit overcast and cloudy, as you can see, and it was just all of a sudden there was a flash of a streak of a wild dog running across the road. We went off-road, we kind of caught up with them and eventually found them in a riverbed where they'd managed to kill a young impala, and we spent a bit of time with them there. There was interaction with a hyena approaching, and the dog's getting quite excited about that and chasing him off. And then they went off to a nearby dam to drink, and we were able to get some incredible photographs and interaction there. They started playing around on the edge of the water and even in the water. So overall, a great safari. And I think one of the things that that stands out here is that it's really not about quantity and rather quality. So, you know, I was saying to the guests, if you were to think about putting together a portfolio of 10 images from this trip, they would be 10 very strong images based on what we've seen over a very short period of time. And even if you were to narrow that down and just say one great image of elephants, one great image of lions, one great image of leopard, one great image of wild dogs, and we've had good sightings of buffalo as well. So it's all come together quite nicely. It's been a very productive trip. Johan is going to be up here in the middle of July, so next month there is space to join him. And I can tell you what, if you are looking to get out into the bush in the peak of the dry season, there is no better time to get out. And from a photographic perspective, the Timbavati has always delivered for us. So this is my contribution for this week's Diaries entry. I'm about to head to Hoedspruit to board a plane to Johannesburg. We've got a very tight turnaround, and we then board a flight up to Kenya. We're going to do a night in Nairobi, and then it's the start of our exclusive Amboseli and Tsavo safari. So 5 nights in Amboseli National Park, and then we move a little bit further east from Amboseli for 4 nights in Tsavo West. It's an itinerary that I've done for the last 3, 4, 5 years now. I can't even remember how long, but it's one of my favorites, and I absolutely love photographing Amboseli, and I love the wild, remote feeling that you get when you're in Tsavo. So next week I'll be sharing an update from there. Safari season is off to full swing in the Wild Eye office, and so the final little bit for my contribution this week is just a very short highlights reel from the last couple of days here in the Timbavati.
I will be heading to a very special place for me in the eastern side of South Africa. It's actually a part of the greater Kruger National Park, and it's called the Sabi Sands, or as it should be referred to as the Sabi Sant Wildtuin. Wildtuin is Afrikaans for game reserve. And how the Sabi Sands, or Sabi Sant, got its name from is it generally lies between two large river systems, the Sabi River and the Sand River, and so Sabi Sand Game Reserve. I'm very excited to be heading back there, this time with a guest who's not been on safari with Wild Eye as of yet. Sydney and her son Ian will be joining me for a privately guided safari experience, 8 days, spread across 2 camps, Mala Mala and Londolozi. Both of those camps iconic in so many ways. I think if you look back at the history of safari in Africa, certainly Mala Mala would have been one of the forefathers for safari and the experience that you get to have today. The camp, I think, officially started in 1963, and that dates back such a long time ago, and the camp really is steeped in history and have played host to everything from movie stars, presidents, you name it. Everyone has visited Mala Mala in the past, and it's well known for a very good reason. You enjoy spectacular game viewing on the Mala Mala property. They own a large portion of the Sabi Sands, almost, I think maybe even just over a third of it, about 22,000 hectares. So it's a very large property, and therefore plays host to a large number of different wildlife photographic possibilities. This safari is photographic in nature, so that's what we will be focusing on. They have the Sand River running through the bulk of the property, which is a really big benefit and bonus, especially this time of year when it starts to dry out. So really good game viewing opportunities on hand for us. From there we'll move on to Londolozi, which in itself is another really good game viewing destination. It also has a very deep history entrenched within its beginnings, and started by a family and 2 brothers in the early days, and just known for not only epic game viewing but fantastic hospitality and some of the most beautiful camps you can come across in Africa. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode of the Wild Eye Diaries. If you haven't seen episodes 1 through to 16, you can do so in this blog. Click through and enjoy those with us. It gives you a great idea of what the Wild Eye team are up to at the time, but also who we are, and you get to know the different personalities a little bit better. Once again, thank you for staying tuned, and have a lovely day further.